of guys out there think it's okay to just walk up to a guy who works out and then start touching their arms and all that. I mean, technically, if you look at the law, it is molest. You don't just walk up to someone and touch them. Molest.
Welcome to our Modern World podcast, where we have absolutely amazing guests who will share on topics like fitness, wealth, making money, all these things, right? And again, our goal is to empower, enrich, and evolve your lives. Today, we have a very, very special guest. He's a dear friend of mine. He goes by many names. He's two-time Mr. Singapore. He is called Destroyer Dharma and is a very, very close friend of mine. And he's also my personal trainer as well. His name is Danie Dharma. Let's invite Danie Dharma to the show.
Hello.
What's up, man? So Danie is yes, no problems at all, man. So Danie is a really, really close friend of mine, and I've known him for many years. He is one of my idols and one of my inspirations when it comes to bodybuilding, when it comes to lifting weights. When I was a very young boy, back when I was 16 years old. So Danie, tell us a little bit more about yourself. What do you currently, and how you actually started this entire journey, man.
Okay, guys. My name is Danie Dharma. I'm 37 years old. So I'm most known for being a competitive bodybuilder in Singapore. So I've won the Mr. Singapore title 2 times and won a few regional shows as well. Other than that, I'm also a professional wrestler. Okay, I wrestle mostly as a hobby, but maybe I do a match once every 2 months. Other than that, I'm also a trained movie stuntman. And you might have seen me make some small appearances here and there on some drama, some shows. It's like some bad guy or something. Most notably will be my role in Netflix, the Mr. Midnight series as the Ogre. So that, in a nutshell, that's pretty much what I do.
Awesome, fantastic. Dude, thank you so much for sharing, man. That's a pretty impressive resume, bro. Right, bodybuilding. But tell us, you also, you're also in the Navy as well, bro. How many years were you in the Navy and everything?
Oh yes, I spent 10 years in the Navy.
Wow.
From the time I was 19 years old to 29.
Wow, 1929 you were in the Navy. And in the Navy, on the ships and everything, you were also training bodybuilding and, dieting. How did that work out, man? 10 years.
Yes. I was actively competing while I was still in the Navy.
Wow.
But here's the thing, the first half of my career, I was on board a ship. So at that point of time, I didn't do so well in competitions. I still did try, but I didn't do so well. Subsequently, I went to a shore unit. That's when I started to do even better.
Wow. So first few years, you couldn't train properly, you couldn't get in your meals properly and everything, lah.
Yes,
right.
I mean, it would have been a challenge either way. Even the shore unit was a challenge because in my shore unit, I was doing overnight shifts 3 times a week. And my working hours were many hours longer than a regular 8 to 5 person.
Wow.
Yeah, so at that point of time, I mean, I was usually sleep deprived, but I just tried to make it work.
Dude, that's one thing that I really admire about you, bro. Even you have clients the whole day or whatever, there is no excuse. Like literally, sometimes, I'll see him banging out workouts at 12 midnight, right? 1 a.m. Oh, I just got back, I just got to get in my workout 12 a.m. Like, dude, most people will just sleep, man. I'm just too tired, right? Like, what makes you have that discipline, that drive to get it in, bro?
Okay, because I'm of course motivated to turn pro as a bodybuilder someday. So to me, the way I see it is like every time I clock in a workout, I'm getting one step closer to that dream.
Wow. So you have a vision that you want to work towards, and you know that every day, the effort that you put in every day is going to put you one step closer to that vision of becoming a pro bodybuilder. Wow, incredible, bro. So that's the reason why you don't skip. Even if it's 12 midnight, I get it in.
Yeah, I mean, there are times I work out till 3, 4 a.m. Then wake up the next day at 7 a.m.
Are you serious?
I mean, of course, being sleep deprived is not a good thing.
Yeah, you gotta get your sleep as well, bro.
You try to get power naps and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just find it hard not do the work. I just can't live with myself.
Oh, dude, I love it, bro. Can I ask you if this is your mindset, right? You know that, hey man, the other guys who are training, other guys who are putting the work, other guys who are putting in the hours, for example, and you know that shit, I need to do that same thing as well. I need to clock in the workouts to make sure that, nobody's going to outwork me. Is that your mindset, your mentality?
I mean, I never trained with that in mind. Okay. But over time, I realized that I'm actually outworking my competition, and that's how I've been winning. Because I look at the way I train and the way some of my competitors are training. I'm not taking anything away from them. They are also training very hard. They are also dieting all year round. A lot of the guys, especially the ones of my age, they're all doing all that. But I feel like I feel like I just have something a little bit more extra in my training program because I'm not just doing bodybuilding, I'm doing like all this cardio, HIIT and all that stuff. So I'm keeping my body very, very optimal. So that's why I'm able to train harder.
Wow, incredible, bro. So it's really as in you truly know that you're outworking in competition in one way or another, right? Like again, you are very active in your cardio, you're a wrestler as well, you need to be mobile, your stretching work, everything, it all adds together. Your cardiovascular health is there as well. You know, you're training, you're putting in the work, lifting heavy weights, but at the same time running, doing sprints, and all that stuff. It's incredible, bro. Who are your first inspirations in the local scene, man? Who do you like aspire to be like, or who are your inspirations at that point of time? Who was it Simon Chua? Was it Kevin Chia?
Okay, interestingly, right, in the local scene, it wasn't the big guys. It wasn't those who are competing. It was actually two of my school seniors. So they were the ones who were competing for IT at that point of time. And they were the best. And in those days, right, Team IT was winning all the tertiary shows. And they were the two top guys.
Interesting.
So they were the ones who taught me how to diet, how to pose, and what needed to be done.
What are their names, bro?
Their names were Sofian and Xiao Kun.
Okay. Interesting. Dude, so you see, decades have gone by, right? I think you're the only one standing, bro. Right? Like consistency over decade after decade. Talking about 2004. Dude, now it's almost 2024, all right? 2023, 2024. It's crazy, man. So many years of dedicated focus. Like how do you maintain that consistency, that discipline to maintain the diet for so many years, right? The exercise, you're lifting day in, day out, every day, 3 hours. Like tell me, man, how do you do that, bro?
I think the fundamentals actually apply to everything. At the start of anything, right, you're trying to force yourself to do something that is discipline. But once you pass a certain point, right, it just becomes habit. And then I think you know about this as well. Training is very fun and addictive, and you get all these endorphins after you train. So at some point, it's not a problem going to train. That will be something that draws you. So the nutrition part is where you need a bit more effort to stay on track.
So you're saying that after discipline comes habit. Right? After you initially it's the discipline to go to the gym, to run, do whatever it is, to eat food, but after a while it becomes just a normal thing for you. It's habits, right? So it's essentially the thing which forms the good habits that just carries on all the way through, right? So it's almost like brushing your teeth in the morning. Like, dude, I don't have to be disciplined to do that. I have to do that anyways, right? So to you, it's like going to the gym, eating clean, eating good food and everything, making sure you do it. It's part of your day routine.
Yeah, actually, I would say that's for most people.
Okay.
For me, the moment I started working out, right, I just fell in love with the process. So it never came to a point where I need to drag myself to the gym. It's like I'll just go. It's like the thing that I look forward to all the time.
Yeah. Dude, tell me right now, bro. Right. So right now you're sitting at how many kilograms? Like what?
About 89
kilograms, about 90 kilograms. What is the day in the life of Danie? Like, how much food do you consume? How much do you train and everything? Can you tell us?
So food-wise, I normally prepare my meals either the night before the day.
Yeah.
So I actually calculate like, okay, how much carbs am I going to have for the day? How much protein? Then according to that, I prep my meals.
Okay.
So number of meals actually is not fixed because that amount of food that I bring, I try to finish it over a day.
Okay. So currently, what does it look like? How many calories are you consuming currently? Like, for you to maintain a physique, bro?
So protein definitely, I'm going to need like 250 grams protein.
Okay.
Carbs, I'm 300 plus to 400 because my work rate is very high.
Wow.
Because over the years, right, my philosophy of physical training evolved. At some point, I just wanted to be like the best bodybuilder. But over time, I realized that fitness has to be more holistic.
Okay.
So now I'm actually spending time doing cardio, stuff like sprinting.
Yeah.
And I also joined wrestling, so I need to spend some time on agility and movement.
Yes.
So my training volume is easily 3 to 4 hours a day.
Wow. 3 to 4 hours a day, bro.
On most days, there has to be rest days.
Wow.
But the higher your training volume, the more carbs you're going to need to power that.
So you consume about 3 to 400 calories, 3 to 400 grams of carbohydrates as well. Total calorie intake, bro, like, how much would that be roughly? About 4,000?
4,000-ish, yeah.
About 4,000-ish every day. That's a lot of food to consume as well, man. Crazy, right?
More than twice on a normal person.
Wow.
But I think about one example I can give is Michael Phelps, the swimmer. His training volume is 8 hours a day. He burns through 12,000 calories a day. So he got to like eat junk food just to break even.
Yeah, exactly. Like 10,000 calories. I read the news and whatever, man. Crazy amounts of food you have to consume. Wow. So 4,000 calories. And how long have you been doing this for, man? Like, really properly maintaining, like all the way through?
Because the thing about bodybuilding, right, is there is really no way to do it without being on some kind of bodybuilding diet.
Yep.
So of course, the initial years, I was much more focusing on hitting my protein intake every day. But over the years as I turn competitive, I realized that there is really no way to hit your macros unless you really prep your meals yourself or you buy a meal prep service. So probably since like, okay, because I compete every year, so definitely every year I spend several months being on a very strict diet for the competitions. But outside the competitions, usually the earlier years, I don't completely go off my diet. I have some clean meals, then I just make sure I hit my protein. But like pre-2015 onwards, right, I felt like if I really wanted to move forward as a competitor and improve, I need to be on a diet all year long, all year round. So around that time, that's like 2014, 2015.
You know, I love what you said to me that day. You never have to get ready if you stay ready.
Oh.
You never have to get ready if you stay ready. It's always ready, man. I'm telling you, anytime, right? Amazing. Danny, we talked about your diet. What about your training? What does your split look like? How many days a week do you train? What is your split generally, if you can share?
Yeah, there are many kind of splits and they all work, but I felt like my split actually was heavily influenced from my days in the Navy. Because back then I had very limited time to train. Maybe
Oh, you were a naval officer as well?
yeah, I was in the Navy for 10 years actually.
Okay.
I was actually competing at that time.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember when we met in 2015,
Yes,
I was still in the Navy.
Wow.
Yeah. So, because my work hours was so long, I only had 3 days a week to train. So I had to make all those days count. So I used a push-pull leg split.
Okay.
Hence, when I left the Navy, I had more time to train. I just continued that split, but I just added on to it. So like from a 1.5 hour workout, where previously it slowly evolved to become a 3 hour workout.
Wow.
Because the better I got, I needed to do more sets, more reps. So it just took more time.
Wow. Dude, 3 hours, people, you talk about volume, you really put in the volume, bro. So what? So you do a push-pull, legs, push-pull kind of thing 5 days a week or just 3 days?
Now my current split is actually 4 days. I have a push, a pull, and then I have a quad dominated leg day and a hamstring dominated leg day.
Wow. So 2 different kinds of two leg days and a push and pull.
Yep.
Wow. No wonder I always see you doing squats like, on Instagram, So it's 2 legs days and the other 3 days is rest.
Yeah, because you see the quads are such big muscles, the hamstring, the glutes, they're all big muscles. They need volume individually. If you do it all in one day, you're going to burn out very early into your workout. Then you're not going to be able to push the muscles that you train towards the end. So I just split it so that I can just max out quads on one day, max out hamstrings on one day.
Wow. So that's how you train, huh? So what are your aspirations now, brother? Right? You conquered Singapore, right? What is the big goal for you moving forward?
For the longest time, I wanted to turn pro.
Okay.
In the IFBB, not like those WFF. I wanted to turn pro in the IFBB. And I think I'm very close now because I have beat guys who eventually turn pro. Like more than once.
Wow. So the goal is to be IFBB.
I believe I'm around that level already. I just need to find the right show and go in at my best condition.
Dude, do you ever have dreams of Las Vegas, Mr. Olympia? I don't know, man. Was that ever, like, if you could dream dreams, what would it be, man?
Yeah, that's the long-term dream.
Yeah.
One day I can step on the Olympia stage.
Wow.
I don't have to win it, just make it there. That's like already a lifetime achievement.
Exactly, man. That would be such a beautiful dream come true, huh? Man, I grew up watching Mr. Olympia and my father, right? He gave me the Arnold magazines as well. I grew up watching Pumping Iron, right? Like, it was everything to me, man. It was crazy. Dude, so amazing to see that. But I really believe you have so much potential to get to the highest levels, man, for sure, 100%, right? But yeah, man, bodybuilding is an expensive sport as well, no doubt, right?
Actually, I wouldn't say that.
No?
I feel like people are taking the wrong approach to bodybuilding, and then they think it's very expensive. Because you see, I brought my own meals.
Okay.
So the amount of, I'm on a high calorie diet, I think twice or thrice as much as a normal person.
Yeah.
But in total, right, my meals come out to $7 to $10 a day.
Oh, okay.
Because I prep it myself.
Wow.
Whereas if you eat outside, one meal costs you $5 to $6.
Even right now, it's $7-10 for the whole day.
Yeah, I mean, you buy brown rice.
Okay.
It's not very expensive and it lasts you a long time.
Okay.
I buy like chicken breast and all that.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
it's just that, it's just that I'm prepping myself, that's why. If you buy a meal prep service, then and like one meal is going to cost a lot more.
Yeah, $7 easily, right? $7, $8 a meal or whatever, not right? Incredible. Dude, so I want to ask you a few other questions, bro. So, I don't know whether it's recently, right? But, you are also known as Destroyer Dharma, right? There's something that, I've watched you live in person. You're incredibly entertaining. Are you currently the champion?
No.
No? You lost the
I dropped
title?
the belt already.
Dude, right? So it was once the, champion in, in wrestling as well. Tell us about that, man. How did that start for you?
Okay, so year 2016, I just left the Navy. So, I had some free time, I had savings, and I didn't have to work a full-time job yet. I wanted to just train for the Mr. Singapore, which was in, I think, August or something like that. And I left the Navy in March. So I was thinking, okay, now I got all this time, I want to take up a second sport. So I was thinking between boxing, MMA, and wrestling. And then I was thinking, why not wrestling? I've been watching it all my life. And even as an adult, I was always very intrigued by it. I was the guy who was like buying all the DVDs and all that. So I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. So I just joined just to learn some basics and become more agile. That's all. Just improve my athletic ability. But then when I attended, I realized that I really loved it. And trust me, it's painful. Especially when you start learning how to take falls and stuff. It hurts. The first time I tried it hurt for like 3 weeks.
Wow. It requires agility, mobility. It's not static. It's it's dynamic. It's crazy, man. Right? And I felt the mat. The mat is hard as shit.
Yes. A lot of people think the mat is very soft. Actually, it's not as soft as a trampoline. It's made of steel beams with plywood. Then there's a layer of styrofoam just for aesthetic purpose, so that you don't see the plywood. Then there's a canvas.
Crazy, man.
So if you land on your feet or something, you might break your ankle.
So that was another dream come true for you, huh?
Oh yeah. I mean, that was a dream within a dream.
Okay.
Like subconsciously, I always watched wrestling because I actually inspired to become a bodybuilder partially because of wrestling.
Okay, because of The Rock.
Actually, Triple H.
Triple H. Wow, Triple H.
During the days secondary school and being bullied, then one day I just watched wrestling. Then I saw Triple H cover. Then I was like, wow, if I look like him, all my problems will end. that was part of why I started training.
Yeah.
So I was actually watching a lot of wrestling as my inspiration rather than bodybuilding at that point of time.
Wow. But to see those muscular dudes doing their 5-star frog splashes, rock bottoms, pedigrees and everything, wow, dude.
Yeah, but you see, because I was being bullied, right, I was usually watching all those big, strong guys doing all the big slams, all the high impact moves. So that was the thing that intrigued me. I was thinking that, if I become like this, then I'm going to be the ones who are overpowering all my bullies when they come. Stuff like that.
Amazing, bro, amazing. Dude, guys, if you ever have a chance to go and watch Danie, I think you're competing 3 times more this year, right?
Yeah, 3 more.
We've got 3 more shows this year. If you ever have a chance to go and watch it, please do. Please go and sign up and watch these shows because it's incredibly entertaining, man. I had the time of my life, bro. Was it Toa Payoh? Was it?
Yeah, we used to have our shows in Toa Payoh.
In Toa Payoh, dude. I enjoyed it so much. It was like, wow, dude. It was packed out, full house and everything. Dude, I loved it, man. And Danie's show was amazing, right? So, anyways, bro. So let's come back to the everyday man who's watching here, right? So they look at you, Mr. Singapore, wow, you're big and whatever not. But I've never trained before. I don't know how to start. Like, what is what would you recommend for people to get started on a healthy lifestyle? Like, what should they start doing per se?
Okay, I think the first thing is people need to identify their goals first. So they must figure out, okay, what do you want to do? You want to build muscle or do you want to lose body fat? So once you identify your goal, you must make sure that the training program you're following is very specific to your goal. That means, like, let's say there's a guy, he wants to lose body fat, he's overweight. He shouldn't be doing like a bodybuilding program. I mean, it will help, but he should make sure that his program has elements of fat loss, more elements of fat loss than other things.
For example?
Okay, let's say that person's going to have to spend a lot of time doing like steady state cardio.
Okay.
At 60 to 70% of their maximum heart rate, which is the most ideal for people to burn body fat, and it's not too intense.
Okay. Can you explain to people what steady state cardio means?
Steady state cardio means you bring your heart rate up to a certain level and you maintain it.
Okay.
So steady state cardio can be like treadmill,
okay,
walking on a treadmill, inclined treadmill walk, or sitting on the stationary bike. Because if you see, especially obese people, they are going to have mobility issues doing things like long distance running or skipping, because their body weight is going to be restrictive. Their body weight is going to make those exercises anaerobic. So their heart rate is going to go too high, too fast. So they're not going to go into the fat burning zone. So for people like that, they should spend time doing things that are more practical. If they sit on a bike, they can still do 1 hour at 60% of their maximum heart rate. It's still possible. So you see, that's a very goal-specific training. So if this guy just tries to run, he's not going to see that much of result. There will be some results, but it's going to be like a long cut. So whereas if he sits on a bike, every day he's burning 1 hour of body fat, that's going to add up over time. And it's practical. You can do it like a few days in a row. if you go for a run, you might be burnt out, your legs might be sore. The next few days, you might not be able to exercise. So,
Incredible. So, okay, that's for a person who's maybe a little bit overweight. What about a person who is maybe skinny? Like, dude, I am so skinny, I'm 50 kilograms, I really want to build some muscle, Danny. I eat so much, I'm not gaining any weight. How?
yeah, so again, they have to come up with a very goal-specific training. So the problem I see, right, is that in the gym, most people are not training hard enough. Because muscle building, right, you got to give your body a workload that is hard enough to the point where your body is forced to adapt to it. Because see, muscle building is an adaptation to workload. It means like, I lift a certain amount of weight, then my brain gets triggered saying that, okay, the amount of muscle I have is not enough. I need more muscle mass to handle this workload. So people need to be training towards their threshold. So I see most guys just go into the gym, they get some plan online, then they're like, okay, 4 sets of 10. Then they just do 4 sets of 10. Whereas they might be able to do 20 reps with whatever weight they're using. But they stop at 10 because the program says 10. So I'll say one of the things is don't limit your reps. Use more weight if needed, but of course always get the form right first. So that's why it's a really good thing that if you're not too sure, if you can't find the proper YouTube videos to learn how to do this, right, just get a trainer. Even if you do like 3 or 4 sessions, that will be enough to learn all the basics. Then from there, you're good for life.
So really pushing yourself to the limits, like properly training hard, not just 10 reps for the sake of 10 reps, lah, bro. Right? Very, very important. Okay, then what about food-wise, right? Like you hear so many times, these skinny guys telling, bro, I eat so much, bro, I cannot put on weight. Do you think it's an excuse? Like, you've been through that, right? Or is it true?
Okay, it's very interesting. Because like you can force feed the wrong food and then nothing's going to happen for you. Like for example, okay, one of the problems, right, a lot of skinny guys, what they do is they try to force feed themselves. So they're eating a lot of carbs. But their body, they don't gain body fat because they're thinking they want to gain body fat and look bigger. But their bodies are not so efficient in storing body fat because their body type is ectomorph. So all their food is just going to go to waste. So what they should do instead, they should be on a bodybuilding program, trigger the muscle building process, and then their diet should be high enough in protein. So if they're consuming enough protein and they're on a bodybuilding program, the muscles will grow. So it's a win-win for them because they can't gain so much body fat anyway.
Interesting.
So they're going to gain lean muscle.
So to really do the bodybuilding process to trigger your body to want to gain more muscle and to have enough protein to support that entire function, huh?
Yeah. And I can tell you, it's easy to eat, mee goreng 4-5 times a day. It's tasty, but eating chicken breast and fish and meats, force feeding the required amount, that's not easy.
Yeah.
That's a work on its own.
Definitely, man, for sure. To somebody watching out there who's like, I want to be a champion in whatever field they choose to be in, man. Maybe it's their careers, maybe it's in bodybuilding, maybe it's in their sport. They want to be the champion. They want to be number one. What would you tell them? What would you advise them?
I'd say that if they're pursuing something they're passionate about, say not to worry, they'll definitely make it. Because if you see everyone who is pursuing something they're passionate about, they're the one who wants to go very, very far. Whatever it is, maybe martial arts or something, the guys are making money in any given field. They are there making money because they were passionate about it. So just keep trying, don't give up, believe in yourself. If you respect yourself, you would want to go out there and get the best things for yourself possible because no one else is going to do it for you.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed our podcast so far with Danie Dharma. Make sure you smash the like and the subscribe button to our podcast, for more amazing content like this. Smash it like you smash your weights, guys. Let's go.
Eventually, I left the Navy in 2016. I left sometime around March. Then I felt like, okay, this year I'm going to try win a Mr. Singapore title. So I had savings and I thought, okay, I'll not find a job yet. I'll use this spare time to just focus on winning that title. Then at the same time, I also took up wrestling at that point of time because all this spare time, all the years I was in Navy, I had no time to do anything. I could only just do my bodybuilding and that's it. So many things I wanted to try, I didn't get to. So I spent this time to, explore. So at that point of time, that's when, I was not restricted by lack of sleep and stuff like that. I wasn't doing 24-hour shifts anymore. So now I was able to train harder, train longer, train more days. And I started training, like on some days I'll be training 2 times. And, start doing more cardio. And then wrestling training also kicked in at that point of time. So like I was working on agility and other stuff like that. So when it came to the show day, I realized that my category was, my category itself was very competitive. This year I was a middleweight now, finally. So I was like in the below 85 kg category. but I weigh in just at 80.5. So I was like the smallest guy in my category.
Wow.
So there's Shaiful Haq again, the guy who beat me in 2012.
Yeah.
And then there's this other good friend of mine who also started competing around the same time. His name is Shah.
Yes, Shah.
So Shah had...
Shah Cutler.
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
So he gained a lot of size that year. His upper body was really good. So I was thinking like, okay, if I win this category, then I can quite likely win a Mr. Singapore. But the chances of winning this category, I need to see. But I knew that I was the driest, most conditioned guy in my category, but the smallest. But at the same time, I knew that I was the most balanced as well. Like I very few weak points compared to the rest. So I just went out there, did my thing. But up till the last second, it came down between me and Shaiful. So even up till they announced the result, I wasn't sure if I won it. But when they announced it, I knew that I was most probably going to win Mr. Singapore that year.
How was the feeling when they announced your name, Mr. Singapore, Danie Dharma? How's the feeling, bro?
There was like that, like something very heavy was lifted off my chest for like suddenly at the point of time, because I wanted to win that title for a long time, for several years since they had it in 2006. But 2006 was like a faraway dream. Then as the years passed, it was more like something that could be done, but I just got aged out by a little. So finally, I did it that year.
Wow. It must have been so sweet, bro.
And to be honest, right, when I went for the overalls, once again, I realized that actually it was very, very competitive. That year, a lot of good guys showed up.
Yeah.
So notably, there was Nazaruddin Hamza.
Yes, Nazaruddin was there.
And Brock was there as well. And there was the welterweight winner, the lightweight winner, there was Saibil was there as well.
Yes.
These are all very top tier guys. They have like gone regional shows and done very well.
Yep.
So once again, I actually found myself in the mix. And all these guys were also very conditioned. So I think it was very, very close between me, Brock and Nazaruddin. So just very lucky I edged it out there and managed to win it.
Incredible, bro, incredible. And tell us about the regional show, bro, right? So you got to represent Singapore, right? I think it was the next year?
Yeah, that was the following year.
That's the following year, right?
Asian Championship.
Asian Championship. Tell us about that, bro. Having the pressure, the ability to raise your flag and compete in the region. How was that like for you?
Okay, so I was very happy that I competed that year because it was a very competitive championship because there was cash prizes. So like the winner of the men's open actually got 10,000 USD.
Wow.
Yeah. So there were cash prizes. So the top guys from the region all came down to compete. So actually that year, right, it was actually the Singapore Nationals, but they concurrently organized an Asian Championship. So the Asian Championship is the one that had the cash prizes. So when I went to compete, I realized that the guys were all really good. They were all the standard was very high. We were all very close. It was no one was like standing out. So we had the pre-judging and the finals. So on the pre-judging day, I realized that everyone was good, everyone was dry, everyone was in condition. So I was thinking I needed to change my strategy. I was actually trying to feel out and do more carbo loading, feel out and come in a little bigger. Then I realized that I needed to focus on getting drier instead because everyone was very dry. So this morning I showed up, everyone was one notch drier than the day before. And I was just shocked. I was like, oh my god, how am I going to compete with these guys? But I mean, I was also as dry as them. Sometimes it's so close, then you don't even know how well you can do. I could have won, I could even be not even in the top 10. That's how good everyone looked. So we went for the competition, and because I was focusing on getting drier, I was suffering from a lot of cramps. I couldn't hold my poses properly, especially my midsection. So I think it was very, very close between me and the second place. The second place, this guy from Indonesia, his name is Fani Fuadi. And he actually turned pro in one of the subsequent shows after that. So he's one of the guys who was mentioning that who I've beaten them, but they turned pro later.
Incredible. And that feeling, how was that, man? When they announced your name, against these top level guys, how was that winning feeling, brother?
This was quite interesting as well because when I first started training at 15, 16 years old, right, I did sometimes imagine myself like going to the SEA Games and winning and raising the flag. Like it was just like a subconscious dream. I mean, of course, the later part, that was something I really wanted to do, like win a gold medal for Singapore, raise the Singapore flag. Like I see all the athletes on TV, like from other sports doing it. I thought I could do that for Singapore bodybuilding as well. So the moment they announced, at first I was shocked. I couldn't believe that I was the one who won. Because when they are calling out the top 5 guys, there was still like 3, the 7, 8, and 9 place guys was still standing there. and they were all so good, they could have won it also. So I was like not really thinking I was the one who's going to win. So when they announced my name, I walked forward, it's like, wow, okay. No, then I suddenly started having like a salvo of cramps, like my abs cramp, my legs cramp, trying to adjust myself. But then the moment of time when the guy put the flag on my shoulders, I was like, wow, this is it, man. I'm here already. I made it. Finally, I'm going to raise the flag with the gold medal, and this for Singapore.
Wow.
So like I almost felt like I blanked out for a second. The moment was finally there.
Wow. All that sacrifice, sweat, food, everything was worth it, bro. They all come here to the event, huh?
The interesting part was like just 5 days before that, it was Deepavali.
Wow, really?
So I was sharing on my Facebook saying that okay, I'm not going to go for Deepavali visiting because it's one of the crucial days of my prep.
Yeah.
And there were even people who came and started making negative comments like, why waste your time doing all this? Just spend it with your family. That's all.
Dude, it was the biggest event of your life, bro. Right? Literally the biggest competition and everything. So incredible.
At that point of time.
Yeah, at that point of time, for sure. Dude, so can I ask you, when you are with all these champions from around the world, right, literally regional champions, can you tell me what is some common characteristics that you see amongst all of them, and like, what is the mindset? What are these people like, bro?
What I would say they all had in common their humility. They were all very, very humble. Like the guys from Indonesia and stuff, like they are not very well versed in English, but I could speak a bit of Malay. So we were talking and they all had so much respect for each other. Like funny for Adi, the guy in second place, he was telling me something like, you definitely are going to win today. That sort of thing was like so much of mutual respect, so much of camaraderie. You when you see guys like us in the street, a lot of people just assume that we are all arrogant, angsty people. Actually, it's not true at all. In fact, most people who bodybuild, they have a story, they have a reason why they chose that path. A lot of them have actually got beaten down a lot, and they know what it's like to be the outsider. They know what it's like to be a reject. So you will find that in the pool of bodybuilders, there's going to be a handful of guys who are very arrogant, but the good part, most of them are actually very humble, quiet people. I mean, look at the bodybuilders going out in the streets. How often do you see a bodybuilder like wearing like sleeveless and all that? Most of us just wearing big shirts, just wearing long sleeves, just covering up, just trying to blend in. They don't want to show off. That's really who bodybuilders are. People should. I wish people stop misunderstanding us and making assumptions about us.
Incredible, bro. Hey, dude, and tell us, bro. So obviously, you don't look normal, right? You are, you are bigger than normal, obviously, right? Like, what are some, tell us some stories, bro, of how, you have been, looked at differently, or how you've been stereotyped, for example. Share with us some things that you've actually been through.
Okay, these kind of things are very common.
Sure.
I would say sometimes when you're in public, right, sometimes you just want to have your private time, you just want to go for a meal with your family or friends. But some people, they're going to intrude into your space and, like, they're just going to walk up to you and just ask you, like, okay, what do you do to look this way? I mean, like, I don't fully mind that, but sometimes, I'll, like, give, like, a short answer, but not, how should I put it? I'll give a short answer, but something like, that should be enough for the person to get on with it. But, they will, like, stand there and, like, start asking more questions. And, like, they don't realize they are taking away from someone's personal time.
Interesting.
But that's still okay. I think one of the things I experienced is a lot of intrusion into my personal space. Like, a lot of guys out there think it's okay to just walk up to a guy who works out and then start touching their arms and all that. I mean, technically, if you look at the law, it is molest. You don't just walk up to someone and touch them. It's molest. But I feel like a lot of guys just don't understand it. Like, because they're not the ones getting touched. They're touching other people, so they don't realize it. But when you're the one being touched, it just feels very good. When a random stranger come and start touching you, you feel like a slimy frog has landed on you and you want to go and shower. just doesn't feel okay.
Sure.
So on my part, I don't want to overreact as well, but at the same time, I feel like it's necessary to create awareness. So like, the last few times when someone did that, I just said, hey, what you're doing is actually considered molest. It's not right. Something like that. Just doing my part.
But isn't it, okay, like in your perspective, right? Isn't it also like part of the bodybuilders? Like, you want to look good, right? Like, you go out in public, you want to look different, you want to look good and everything. It's also part of the psyche of bodybuilder, would you say?
Okay, when it first started for me, yes, I really wanted to look good. I wanted to stop being the reject. I wanted to stop getting beaten up and stuff. So the look was very important at that point of time. But as I grew older, I realized that the looks are just superficial. That's something I can just hide. Just wear long sleeve and stuff. I don't need to be showing my arms all the time. I'm okay with it.
Bro, what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced in bodybuilding, in your fitness, or maybe in your entire life, bro? What was the biggest challenge, setback, for example, that really knocked you down, maybe caused you to think of giving up? Anything of that sort that you actually have?
Actually, for the longest time, I never had any. Nothing really made me want to give up sport. I'll say, as the years passed, Singapore has gotten more and more expensive. So like finances has been one thing that something I really have to think twice about, because I'm an adult person. I got my bills to pay and stuff, right? I have other important things to pay. So sometimes I got to like, okay, maybe don't buy my protein for a month or something, just to try to make it work.
Wow, incredible! As in, it's true, man. It's not very very cheap as well, right? It's expensive. All right, so Danny, so you're no stranger to injury, right? What's one of the and a lot of people use their injuries as a excuse with regards to why I shouldn't train, right? Tell us about what was your most serious one and how do you overcome it, or are you training through it? Tell us about that.
Okay, I will not say this is my most serious injury, but I think it's very important that I share this, because a lot of people won't believe me unless I actually shared it. Okay, actually since I was 19 years old, I have a double herniated disc, and I actually got it during my BMT training.
What is that double herniated disc?
Okay, so it's like the disc in my spine, in my L4 and L5. They are sort of, they are like damaged. So actually I got it from a fall, because back in those days we were during our BMT training, we had this thing called the SOC. I mean, they still have it today, but back in my time, there were much more implements. It was much tougher. So, we're having a full battle order, bag full of stuff, rifle, then I'm climbing a rope. So, I was trying to finish that race first. So I let the rope go too early, and I landed on my feet. But you land so hard with so many things on your body, injured my disc. Of course, I'm not blaming the STF for this, because it was my own self being careless. Yeah, so I didn't like claim for that or anything. But an injury like this, right, it takes time to manifest. So upon injury, I was still okay. It hurt a little, but I was okay. I finished that race first also that day. But subsequently, over the next 2 years, I started to experience a lot of lower back pain. Lower back pain that traveled downwards. Then, sometimes you have pins and needles on your legs.
Oh, shit.
And we're talking about pain like level 9 out of 10 pain.
Wow.
Like all the time. And, so people might be looking at like, the kind of weights I'm lifting, the squats and deadlifts I'm doing, and they'll be surprised like, do you really have an injury like that? Actually, it's true. I do have that injury. I still have it. It's just that over the years, I've learned how to manage it correctly. I think it's very important that I share this, because many people have injuries like this and they're not training because of that. And they don't realize that it can be fixed. So, on my end, what happened was, so I went to get it checked. I went to do an MRI scan, and that's how they found out I had double herniated disc. This was like 2 years after the injury. So what happens is that when the disc is in that state, right, the nerves around that joint is going to get triggered. And because of that, the muscles around that joint are going to get tight, in an attempt to try to stabilize the muscle. So you always feel like you're having joint pains, but the pains are actually really just caused by tight muscles. So I started to do their rehab program, which was prescribed to me by the hospital. Just very simple stuff like, lying down, raise one hand, raise one leg, there's a few sets of exercises. And slowly, once I got better, I started to lift weights, but very light. So I do very light deadlifts, very light squats. Then I start adding on to that. So over time, the muscles around my spine have gotten thicker and stronger. Then it doesn't feel like I've herniated disc anymore. But of course, from time to time, the muscles get tight. And sometimes, the nerve gets triggered, the muscles all get tight. So I have a very specific stretching routine. So it takes me about maybe 15 to 20 minutes. I do the foam roller there, I stretch my muscles in a very specific sequence. And once I'm done, 80% of the pain at least is gone. Sometimes I'm totally fine after that. And I can continue, I can still do my squats, I can still do my deadlift. So I think this injury that I got was a blessing, was more of a blessing than anything else. Because of the injury, I learned to take care of myself. I learned to fix myself and also fix others. So I think this is very important. People need to know. Your low back pain should not be the reason why you don't train. Fix it and continue with your life. injured.
No, I think what you say is very, very important, right? Because, I recently met a friend who was like, out of shape. Her reason was I had this injury on my hand, and then I had this back injury, and now I just like everything I do is painful, so I cannot go to the gym because it's painful, so I became fat. Do you think that's an excuse, or can the person correct it and get better?
Okay, I wouldn't say it's an excuse.
Okay.
Because you see, when I first started getting all these injuries, I was under the impression that the only way I can get better is to rest. And what I didn't realize is that sport massage therapy and physiotherapies are available in Singapore, and it's not as expensive as people think. And also, in a lot of cases, right, some people they go for one session and they expect a 2-year long injury to be fixed in one session. It cannot be done. The one session is just it's like initializing the repair. That means they release the muscle and stuff, and then they will tell you to do something maybe for the next one, like, okay, every 2 days you need to do this exercise, or come back for another session to follow up. You have to follow through the whole program, then you'll be completely fixed. So a lot of people are not like that. They go for one session, and it doesn't completely fix them, then like, oh, okay, it didn't work, I'm not going to do this anymore. So that's the problem. They don't understand their injury. They don't understand that you cannot undo a long period of damage in a very short time.
Yeah, exactly. You can't undo 10 years of eating like crap with one chicken breast meal. Right?
I mean, I can tell you, look at the past generation of bodybuilders. Like now I'm 37. The guys who are 45, 50 at this point of time, you see a lot of them stop training because, or a lot of them stop training or they stop training legs because of back and knee problems. But then, in a lot of cases, right, I feel like they just didn't understand their injury. They think that their joints are worn out, so they don't train anymore. But in a lot of cases, joint pains are not caused by joints. They are caused by imbalanced muscles pulling at the joints and preventing the joints from working correctly.
Interesting.
So like now sports science has become a lot more, sports science knowledge has become a lot more available and advanced. So the bodybuilders of today, the athletes of today's generation, they know how to, go for a therapy or do the right kind of treatment, self-therapy, and get better.
Armstrong, tell us a bit about Armstrong, right?
Yeah. Project Armstrong. I've been working at this place as a part-time, Project Armstrong. So they actually do sport massage therapy. And over there, that's one of the owner over there, Alan. He's the one guy who, he has taught me so much about how to take care of myself when I get injured.
Guys, I'm telling you, Project Armstrong, I highly recommend it. If you have any injuries, any issues with your anything at all, go and look for them. Dude will fix you up. I'm telling you, highly recommend it. This guy, a champion, very, very good guy. Danie recommends him as well, yeah?
Yeah, and the thing is, the thing I like about therapists who are also athletes. So Alan, like the guy I was mentioning, he also competed in the nationals.
He beat me.
Oh yeah, he was second. Alan actually was first in that category. Yeah. So the way he fixes people, right? He's not like, okay, your back pain, I'm going to massage your back. He does a range of motion checks, and then he figures out what is the root cause of your problem. Then he solves it step by step, so that the way he treats people is to resolve the issue for good. It's not about just relieving pain. It's not symptomatic treatment. If you go to a regular massage place, that's what they are going to do. They're going to do symptomatic treatment. That means if your lower back hurts, they're going to say, okay, I'll massage your lower back. You will feel better after that, but the pain is going to come back because the root cause is not addressed. So, for example, I'm just using lower back, for example, because a lot of people have it. In most cases, right, lower back issues are caused by weak glutes or weak hamstrings or overly tight glutes or hamstrings. So someone like Alan is going to figure out if that is the problem, then he's going to fix that. Or tell you how to fix it over a period of time. Because some of these things cannot be fixed overnight. If you need to strengthen a muscle, that's going to take 3-4 weeks. Then you have to do the training.
Because this information is so damn important. There's so many of you out there suffering from pain for years and years, chronic pain. And again, your back pain is sometimes not just your back, right? Like exactly what he said. So it's very, very important to get the root. And guys, one thing I appreciate about Danie, right? Besides being a bodybuilder, he's a scientist. Right? As in, he's a very, very good in his science, and he knows the root causes of everything, right? And when I train with Danie, the incredible thing is how that 1 degree of movement, how that one angle, for example, can completely differently affect your muscle groups, how it can give you a whole different pump altogether. And that's the the expertise and the technical details, right? So I highly recommend, guys, if you're looking for a personal trainer, somebody to get you in shape, Danie is the man as well. How can they contact you, bro?
You can contact me on Instagram, Danie Dharma, DanieDharma. On Facebook as well, that's my name.
Yeah, just look him up, right? You can obviously, his Instagram is tagged on this video as well. So go and check him out, Danie Dharma on Instagram and Facebook, right? Absolutely incredible athlete, and I'm telling you, he's top notch, right? Guys, I hope you really, truly enjoyed today's episode with Danie Dharma at the Modern Wealth Podcast. Again, if you're looking to get yourself fixed, Project Armstrong is the place to be. If you're looking for personal training, make sure you hit up Danie Dharma on Instagram or Facebook. It's going to be life changing for you. I'm very sure. And again, guys, make sure you click the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for Modern Wealth Podcast for more amazing guests like Danie. See you on our next episode.